shooting this video with, and it is the Zoom Q2 HD, and I've been really happy with the audio, and I'm still futzing around with the video part of it, but so far I've been really pleased with this fun little camera. So that's what we're shooting the video with today. Now, one of the things I first noticed when I was getting ready to do this shoot is I started looking at my Orange Crush, and one of the things I noticed is you can't really see through Orange Crush. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is kind of scary, I guess, if you drink it, but you can't see through Orange Crush. So what I really wanted to do was to show orange, really orange. So that's what we're going for. Now I chose to shoot on a black reflective surface. This is just a piece of sign material, highly reflective plastic sign material that I got from the sign store. And I had them cut me a piece that's about tabletop size. That way you just throw it up here and make a table. And so the first thing we want to do is figure out how we're going to light this thing. So since it isn't transparent, I thought, well, can't really shoot light through it very well because that's not going to give us much. So I want it to be really, really orange. So what I've chosen to do is I am using a, turn around here so you can see it, an Alien Bee V800 inside of a Westcott Apollo strip box. You see how it's long and skinny? And it has these recessed, if you see here, it has these recessed sides, so it makes the light real directional. And so we're just going to set the light so it shoots right past the back edge of this bottle. And I'm going to have them go the same power amount on either side. What light is coming out of these boxes is we're going to use our light meter and turn this other little light off so we can run the test. And I use Strobe remote controls for the lights. One goes on your camera, and then one is connected to your flash so that you don't have to have any wires to your camera. It's sort of like a pocket wizard, except it's a lot more economical. So we'll turn the light meter on, turn it on flash, test the light. That light is at F11. That light's a little hotter at F13, which is about 1/3 of a stop, but we're going to say that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and shoot that. Now we'll go ahead and shoot that. We're going to use the f-stop of the lesser of the two, expose for the lesser of the two. There we go. And we'll show you what these look like. And now we're going to turn on this other light because I really didn't have the front of the Orange Crush lit up like I would really like. Let's turn on this little light. I've got a little photogenic 100, P100 sitting down here with a barn doors on the front of it. I'll show it to you here when we get done. Let's see what we read here. Take my doodad. Okay, what's coming back at the camera is F8. F8 light coming back at the camera, towards the camera. So I'm actually going to shoot this at F8 because I want my my label to look really nice. Another really important thing of when you're shooting product is you want the colors to be correct. And to do that, I use the color checker by X-Rite, and we're going to set that into the image. I'll show you how to use that later in processing. Photograph that. Here we go. We use that later in post-processing. There we go. Now, right now, we've got a pretty standard image right now, but we're going to jazz it up a little bit with a little bit of water and some ice cubes and stuff like that. So we'll cut away here. Some things that I've used to make my job a lot easier is, you'll probably notice if we hold this up and move it around, that the front of an Orange Crush bottle is really super reflective. So to keep the reflection down off of the studio lights, I'm using a matte spray that's really used on the front of photographs to preserve photographs. I just sprayed it on there and let it dry to kind of tone down this the reflection on this bottle. You can use hairspray, but it isn't as effective, and I don't even remember how much this stuff costs. It's not very much. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and you can buy it at hobby stores, or you can get it online. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to squirt some water on here, but if we just squirted plain water, the water would just fall to the off the bottle, and it wouldn't look very cool, and there's be a big puddle down at the bottom. So what we've done is we've taken some glycerin that you'll find at the drugstore. I got this from CVS. It's in the skincare section, and I've mixed it half and half with water, and we're going to squirt some of this on there and see what we think after, see what we like, how we like the drops. There we go. So now for a little extra pizzazz, we're going to add some ice cubes. We've added some water, and now we're going to add some ice cubes. We're just going to, I've got some ice cubes from the freezer, nothing fancy like little fake ice cubes or anything. And we're going to like put some around, kind of random. Shoot this. Oops. And then as we work with it, the ice cubes will start to melt, and we'll get different looks. Some big ones over here. We just pulled it out of the cooler, man. We'll just put some up there. There we go. I think we're going to do a little more water. Cool. Now we'll take those into the computer and show you what we do post-process. There really won't be a lot of post-process on these because we had the exposure right when we got it done here. So just from a equipment standpoint, let me regroup. I'm using two Alien Bees, B800s inside of strip Apollo boxes. These are great boxes. They work and operate just like an umbrella. In my opinion, the best soft boxes on the market. Westcott stands that come with the Apollos. A piece of I don't even know what you call this stuff. The shiny plastic stuff they use on signs for the table. It's really relatively inexpensive. We have a P3001 photogenic strobe here with barn doors on the front to point the light at the front of the bottle. We used glycerin to make the water stay on, half and half water, half glycerin, and we used some Krylon matte photographic spray, or print spray, to keep the reflection off of the bottle with the lights. So we're going to take them into post. Oh, and wait a minute. The color checker by X-Rite looks like eyeshadow. It's awesome. We're going to show you how to use that. And a Sekonic light meter. They no longer make this particular version of the Sekonic light meter because I've had it for a long time. Great investment. Once you get one, they last forever. The only reason I ever bought a new one is because the other one was like 20-something years old and I lost the little domey thing that went on top. Otherwise, I'd still be using the original one I bought 20-something years ago. And Strobe, forgot the Strobies almost. Strobe flash remotes. Not there. And of course, my Canon 6D, which those of you who know me, I am a Canon shooter, but obviously you can do this with Nikon. And I have a 100mm 2.8 macro lens hanging off the front. So we're going to take them into post-process. Here we go. Now we're going to take them into Bridge. We've loaded them in a computer. We're opening them up in Bridge, which is part of Photoshop. Going to open up Camera Raw. We selected all of our raw images. There they are. I am going to make an adjustment because I did this ahead of time, so I'm going to take off all the adjustments that I've made. I'm going to set everything back to the original. Here we go. And there they are. Now we need to make a copy of this to make a profile or a color profile. And so we go down here, it says Save Image, down the lower left. We want it to save it as a DNG file. We've given it a name, Crush DNG, digital negative is what that stands for. And we would usually say save, but we've done it ahead of time. So you would save that, close it out, and then it saves it right back into the same file. So it's there waiting on you. Then there it is. Then you open up the Color Passport software. Opens right there. And then all you have to do is drag that photograph in there and it's going to make the profile for you. Drag it over. Loading, loading, loading. And then, ta-da! There it is. You tell it to create, you want to make sure all your little squares are lined up. You say create a profile. We would typically give it a name, but we've already done it ahead of time, and you would click save. a name that you could remember or recognize for the shoot. Then you reopen everything into Camera Raw. You could just open that one image the first time if you wanted to. You wouldn't have to open everything. And so here we go. If you select all, you can work on all of your images at the same time. I'm going to take the crop off because I cropped these ahead of time. Forgot to do that the first time. Alrighty then. We're going to apply everything to all the images at the same time. So the first thing we're going to do, we have some presets, and I'll show you what those do. You see how it applies to all the images all at the same time. Then we're going to go to Camera Profiles. And this little drop-down menu, if we drop that over there and click on the drop-down menu, the software for the color checker automatically puts the profile in there, and you'll see how it changes over there on the left-hand side. Changes the color. Remember, your computer is a liar. It doesn't know proper color, so just trust the software. So now we've applied accurate color to all of them. They will render properly when printing and on a properly calibrated computer. Go down through these. There you go, and you can see that we've changed the whites, the clarity, and the vibrance in our adjustment to that basic sauce. Now the whites really are important here because of the ice, so we're going to futz around with that a little bit and see how we like that. And this is a kind of a salt to taste thing. You know, how do you like it? How would you like the ice or the white writing to look? I still want to have detail in there, so I don't want to, you know, take it over to the extreme. I like them better vertical, and we're just going to crop everything all at the same time. Now see how that applies it over there to the left. Everything gets cropped. All the images are cropped. Push enter, and there you go. Clicking through here, you can see the different amounts of ice and everything that we had there, all the variances. It's really important here that you have that shiny black surface clean, because everything really shows up on this black reflective surface. So we did just those couple adjustments. And then the next thing I would do is I'd take them into Photoshop and do a couple of adjustments, a curve adjustment, a levels adjustment, and I would sharpen them. So we're going to do that right now. So go down here to your yin and yang symbol, I call it, down in the layers palette, go to curves. And I just push the auto button and see if I like it, and I'll leave it there and do the curves adjustment, the levels adjustment, and if I like them both, I'll keep them. 255 is all the way white, you can't print that, and 0 is too dark over there on the left hand side, and so we want to make a nice printable image. So if we make some adjustments in these sliders, it may not be visible right to the eye, especially in the darks, but here on the lights,
if we take that slider and bring it over closer to 240, 245, the whites will be a nice printable white. We'll get detail in the whites and bring up the blacks so that we have some detail down in there where it gets dark, like in the top of the bottle, where you see through the bottle there. And then that middle slider is for the highlights, the midtones. This is another thing that's sort of, salt to taste. Just a slight adjustment. And I would usually run an action on this if I picked one, and I was going to do it to all of them at the same time. I'd adjust one and then make an action. Now we're going to sharpen the image, and by sharpening it, we go to the sharpen filter, go to unsharp, which is counterintuitive, and it will make the more detail here in the water droplets. As you notice, we take off the sharpen filter and we slide it over there to the right. If you look in the little preview screen, it makes the drops more defined. And down in the ice too, if you look down into the ice. Click that preview button on and off and you can see the difference. I'm going to push OK. And one last thing I'll do is I don't like all that stuff on the sides there really. I wish I just had the ice more over to the edge. I'm going to crop it, pick the size that I want. An 8x12 is how it comes out. I want it actually to go vertical, so go over there, and that little swirly around button makes it go the other way. I like that. That's good. So there we go. That's all there is to it. Not a whole lot of post-processing, just to get the right color by using the color checker and curves and levels adjustment, mainly to bring out the detail in the ice, because without that you really wouldn't get much detail in the ice. So there you have it. If you have any questions, you can Facebook me, email me, give me a ring on the phone. I'd be more than glad to help you with any studio work that you guys might be trying to do. Thanks a lot and have a great day.